I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
My name is Hot Secret, and I'm here with Nicole, giving her some tips on maintaining her daughter's hair and natural hair. But obviously, we have to practice on the mannequin, and we'll do a demo on her daughter's hair.
All right. So take it away. So what are we doing
We're
today?
actually gonna. I'm teaching her using these flexi rods. It's a quick way of getting curls, and it depends on how small you do them. You can do them bigger sections and they give you more of a wave, or you can do them small and have curls.
Can you hold one up for us so we can see? Okay.
They
Here
come
we
in
go.
many different colors and many different sizes. But when someone has shorter hair, it's good to start with the small ones. Okay, and we're gonna need some end papers. Foam lotion.
What brands are we using today?
This is Vital, and it's olive oil, foam lotion, end papers, and this product it's like a molding fiber. I'm just gonna put it at the end to kind of keep it wrapped to the flexi rods. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're doing flexi rods, you can take big sections, as I said, or you can do small. If you really have a lot of flexi rods to work with, you can have very small sections and then open it. But keep in mind, you really don't have to go the size of the flexi rod, because when they're finished dry, I think you still need to open each of them into two. So you can get away with doing 2 times the size. So instead of doing a small section like this, I would do it bigger, because when it dries, I'm gonna open it into 2 or 3 anyhow, right?
Okay, great.
So you section the hair and you comb it out. You can take the foam lotion, or if the hair was wet, you could just go through and put foam lotion on the whole thing. It depends on how firm of a hole you want. But if you're just doing section by section and you want to manage it more, it's just easier to put the foam. Pretty much you work your hand down and you're stretching the hair. If this was natural, it would have been short. So you're stretching the hair and you're keeping it stretched as much as possible.
So then you could blow dry, I suppose.
Yeah, you can slightly blow dry it a little bit just to get the length. Because sometimes you can do this dry. The difference with dry is it's not going to be as curled. It will give you body, but it won't be as detailed. Because this is also used in dry hair. If you leave it in overnight or a long period of time, it will curl. But if it's not wet, it won't be as detailed. Okay? So we're putting some of the molding fiber. You can use curling cream. You could use gel. You can use whatever you want. Right? It's just to keep the ends tame. And you take the end paper. You want to make sure the end paper overlaps the hair right here so that it doesn't slide out. You're going to hold the flexi rod the same length as the hair. You're going to turn it this way. You're going to make sure the first wrap, you kind of double wrap it. That way the hair doesn't slide out of the paper. And you're pretty much holding your hand like this and you're wrapping this. As you're wrapping, you're stretching it. You can either go really close if you want it curly, or if you want the length, you're going to spread it out a bit. When you get up here, you bend this flat.
Easy as pie.
So here we go. We're going to do another one.
Okay, I'm going to change the angle a little bit.
As I said, you can do bigger section, because the plan is when this comes out, we're gonna actually open them into 2 or 3 to make the hair look fuller.
How much foam do you need, really? Just like 2 pumps? Like look like
Honestly, if the hair was a bit damp, you won't need as much, right? But it's up to you. You don't even need to make it really wet, because you just want a little bit of dampness so that you're leaving it in and you're gonna either put it under the dryer or blow dry it, and it will just make it dry with the shape of the rod. So it doesn't even have to be wet. The foam lotion just gives a little bit of hold, right? There's other foam lotions that you can dilute that is more, you can just wet it up, or you could dilute. You just want some solution. It's like instead of using water, you're using something else with some hold.
Okay.
Okay, and it doesn't have to be foam. They have the watery setting lotions, like Lotta Body setting lotions that you could just spray. But you just want something that's gonna keep the hold, right? So you put some of the curling cream or the molding fiber. You take the paper, You put it on and you slide it all the way to the end. You want to make sure it's not hanging, right? You take the flexi rod. You want to make sure this bottom piece get wrapped all the way under, and you're wrapping it twice. After it's wrapped, you kind of turn it this way, and you slowly, and as you're doing it, put some tension. That way the hair is stretching. And you roll it. When you get to the top right here, you just continue rolling until it's snug, and then you bend it.
Okay. And you're good to go. All right.
Okay, we'll do one more, and then the only trick to the next, this technique's called bricklay. So when you get to the next level, you're trying to do the next set of rod in between. You want to have it dropping in between.
Okay.
In between, right? Because when if you do them all evenly the same spot every time, when it's dry, it's going to be spacey. So you really want to have the bricklay method where you have the rods dropping in between each other. So when you open it, when I open this after, it's going to fill in this gap. When I open this one, it's going to fill in the gap. So you're never going to see the space of where the rod is. And if you really don't want the rod stuck to your head, I would say stay away from putting the mousse too close to the root. That way it's naturally soft and it will be spongy. If you really, really soak the mousse too close, it might be too wet and it's going to be snug and shrunken at the roots, right? So a lot of times you don't have to put the mousse at the roots. You want that volume elevation off the scalp, right? So here we go again. You're going to pull a little bit past the hair. You're going to wrap this couple times so you can see that it wouldn't slide out. You're going to turn it. And if the hair is longer, that means you have to kind of do it closer, right? So you see, when you won't have a problem when you pull them out, because every time you pull them out, you're going to open each one into two and it will fill in the gap.
How long do you think it takes to dry if you were to go under the
dryer? That's why a
dryer?
lot of people use foam. Foam dries very fast.
Okay.
You could probably do 20 minutes, half an hour the most. And as I said, that's if you're just using the foam and it's very light, so it dries really quickly.
All right. Okay. So thank you so much for showing us that technique, and you can tell everybody where they can come for expert advice and service.
Well, you can always come to Secret Hair Design, located at 789 Warden, Unit 4. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Stacey Johnson, Instagram, Secret Hair Design. Okay, that's how we're styling. Hot secret.